Well, good evening again, everybody, and welcome to Labor Live at 5, your weekly edition, brought to you by the Texas AFL-CIO. You're watching on YouTube, you're watching on Facebook, you're watching on Twitch. We are like all over the airwaves. So greetings. We have a really important show to bring to you tonight, but I just want to pause for a moment and just note that Saturday was May 1st, International Workers' Day. We had events all over the state. Thanks to the labor councils who put stuff on to acknowledge the plight of workers and the fight for the 8-hour day. We also had Saturday, in conjunction with the Texas AFT and the Houston Gulf Coast Area Labor Federation, a great citizenship clinic. It was our first in-person citizenship clinic that we've done since the advent of COVID, and we were able to process several union members and their families and get them on the road to citizenship, which was really powerful work. We also had an election on Saturday where union-endorsed candidates were really successful around the state and also very successful in some ballot measures, both in San Antonio and here in Austin. And all the while, we have the legislators across the street. That's why Leonard and I are so fancified. I mean, do we look nice? I think we look really nice today because we've been over across the street trying to protect people's pensions and trying to fight for the ability to have workers a decent standard of living in this state, to be able to vote, to make it to where it's, that we actually have rights in this state. So that's why we're all fancified. I'm sure once they saw me and Leonard with our ties, they figured whatever y'all need, labor. But something happened also this weekend that we just felt like it was really important that people know about. And that is that this little mom and pop outfit named Exxon Mobil decided that they were not making enough money, I guess. And they have actually locked out the steel workers at their plant in the Golden Triangle. To talk about that tonight, we have Richard Hoot Landry. Welcome, Hoot. And we have Jeff Darby, who's the president of the Labor Council in Sabine area. So thank you both for being with us and bringing us the word about what's happening. Hoot, what the hell is going on? I mean, why is Exxon Mobil got their panties all in a wad about this situation? I mean, what's happening here?
Well, I think it's about them losing control.
Okay.
So, a new agreement time, and they're up to their old game plan, the 10-year plan to take away workers' rights, and no matter what our membership does for them, the reward we get are takeaways.
So I don't get that. Who tell us about what that plant does and how many folks we're talking about down there?
Well, the Beaumont refinery, Exxon refinery, is about 365,000 barrels a day refinery, and we have 650 collective bargaining people, about 520 members, and we most recently have been through a couple of hurricanes, went through the major flood, just last year, the pandemic, and most recently the ice storm.
Wow.
And our membership spent long hours at the plant away from their families, working 12, 14, 16, 24-hour shifts, trying to keep the plant viable because of ExxonMobil's management. And last year, they basically moved into a non-profitable mode. And so, we feel like they're taking that out on our membership. They started in August, informed us that they were going to do away with the employees match. Of course, that was every employee, supervisors included. They received 7% on their 401k as a match to their savings. We bargained that through November. The company declared impasse in November and implemented the changes of no more 7% match. We're fighting that through board charges and the unfair labor practices that the company created.
All right,
which
Hoot, I got
gets
to
us
interrupt
to
you.
about December.
I got to interrupt you, okay? Because I'm like, Leonard and I, we take this seriously, okay? I'm serious. Now listen, I did my research, okay? And what I found is that Exxon, in the first quarter of the year, I'm not talking about the last 10 years. I'm not talking about the last 20 years. I'm not even talking about the last year. In the first quarter of this year, Exxon made 2.7 billion. That's with the B, dollars in profit. That's in 3 months alone. And now they feel like they need to take away your retirement match and impose this deal on you. What is the deal, Hoot?
2.7 billion versus 21 million from the union workers. I mean, I don't understand it. It's so confusing. Our membership is confused. It's crazy. So okay. bargaining begins February the 1st. So that creates a bunch of new challenges.
Golly. So, I mean, I want people to really understand, because a lot of people in different aspects of the labor movement aren't familiar, like with a lockout versus a strike versus conflict, et cetera, like that. This is not a situation where the union went on strike. Can you explain what happened? Because let me tell you this. I was over in the Capitol today, and I was talking to some of the representatives from around there, and they told us that Exxon Mobil had actually come to them and said, "Hey, we didn't want to do this, but the union said they were going to go out on strike, so we had to do this, so they couldn't go out on strike." I said, "That's not a lie. That's a damn lie." Explain why that is, Hoot.
That's absolutely a damn lie, because we began bargaining January the 11th. We submitted our proposals. Companies submitted their proposals. We bargained through February the 1st. The company gave us a best, last, and final offer. It was good through the 15th. We did not issue a strike notice to the company until February the 16th. Now, in our business, in the collective bargaining business, that's a technicality that we go through. In the Beaumont contract, we have language. It says it's an industrial peace clause, and that brings some major rules for us to follow so that we don't get to a strike or a lockout. And so February the 16th, we told the company, we're issuing you our strike notice. Okay, so the industrial peace clause says, look, you got to wait 75 days before you can initiate a work stoppage. We said, great, we don't intend to do that. We want to do our work at the bargaining table. We want to resolve the open issues that are there and go from there. Company came back, gave us another proposal and said, this is what we want you to bring to the membership. It did not move on any of the items that we basically told them we couldn't live with. They're proposing new layoff language. We've had language in this contract since the contract was built over 50 years. Never had a layoff at Beaumont. They want to change all the layoff language. They want to split our seniority up. Today we have plant-wide seniority between the refinery and our blend and package plant. That is the number one facility in the United States for producing Mobile One, packaging, exporting that stuff and whatever. They want to separate the refinery from the BNP plant. We got people at the BNP plant that have been there 35 and 40 years. Doesn't make any sense. Never been an issue in the past 50 or 60 years. They attacked our safety. We have operators in the Beaumont plant The A operators are responsible for when our units get in a pickle. They say, Hoot, go do this. Jeff, do that. Rick, you're responsible for this area. Stay on top of that and don't let that happen. The company has proposed to do away with that practice. Wow. They want to make everybody one operator. Wow. They want to pay everybody the same pay. That's unheard of. Wow. So we went a step further and said, okay, so what are the job duties and responsibilities of these new operators going to be? Well, they say we're not at liberty to agree to that or to bargain that right now because we need your agreement that we're going to do away with the A operator. That's unheard of for us. We're not doing that. We are going to try to bargain that. We are going to try to identify what their responsibility and role is, because today our A operator is the go-to man.
Yeah.
He gets paid, I don't know, $1 something more an hour than the other operators. He has all the responsibilities of the unit. He is the go-to guy when anything happens.
Yeah.
And so
this is just
they attack our safety, they attack our job security, and now they're attacking our seniority. Those are the fundamentals of unionism, Rick.
Absolutely. And the thing about it, and so you were wanting to bargain even as of Saturday, right? I mean, you all gave them a new proposal on Saturday, did you not? And their response was just, no, we're shutting down the plant. You can't come to work. And that's...
we gave them an extension agreement April the 30th.
Which was the day that they posted their $2.7 billion quarterly profit.
No, I take that back. That's not true. We gave them an extension offer on April the 20th. We met on the 23rd. The company came in and rejected that offer, said it did not fit their competitiveness, position, or their ability, their flexibility proposals. And that would have eliminated any kind of lockout. It was a 1-year extension. We asked for a little bit of money. We asked to keep our contract intact, allow us to resolve the issues that were outstanding, and eliminate this lockout or a work stoppage. For 1 year. They rejected that.
Okay. Well, let me say this, that, last week we had some brothers and sisters on from the UAW plant up in Marshall, Texas, where they are on strike there to protect those jobs at that manufacturing plant because they believe that it's their duty and their obligation to protect those jobs, not only for themselves, but for the community and for generations to come. You are in the same situation. These jobs have been life-giving jobs for that community and for your members for decades, as you talked about. And y'all are standing up. Now, I see some pictures of y'all out there for fair contract. Why is this guy Jeff Darby here? I mean, what's he got to do with this? Jeff, what's going on? What are you doing here? Who let you in? Why? What's up?
Well, I think sometimes they ask the same thing. Why did we let him in? In all seriousness, it's a good question. I'm the president of the Sabine Area Central Labor Council. USW Local 13-243 in Beaumont is a member of the Labor Council. Now, the Sabine Area Central Labor Council cannot go in there and say, hey, Hoot, thanks, we're taking it over from here. We don't work that way. We cannot get involved in what's going on between the local and Exxon Mobil. But Hoot has been a longtime member of the executive board of the Labor Council. And he said last week, hey, Jeff, can you put the word out? We're having the picture you saw was from a protest last Thursday evening. I said, absolutely. We got people, we got elected officials, we got candidates for elective office, a lot of other union sisters and brothers not from USW, even USW 13-243 there in Beaumont. We were out there showing solidarity. Now, showing solidarity doesn't mean just going out for a one-time deal. We're there. We have most of the local elected officials here in Jefferson and the surrounding counties were endorsed by our labor council. It's not that we're asking for political favors, but we know the local elected officials. In history in Texas, it was there's a strike. This is not a strike. This is a lockout. But there's a labor dispute. We're going to get the Texas Rangers or the Sheriff's Department or whatever to go out and bust it up and restore law and order. No, not in Jefferson County. The sheriff of Jefferson County has a union background. She's from a union family. She is not going to take the union side, but she's also not going to be a tool of plant management.
So
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that's a really important thing to note is that as the Labor Council, your job is to build solidarity among all the different unions and all the allies of unions in that area. And I know you all are really involved in helping for that rally, and I know that you're going to be there for whatever Hoot and them need, I'm sure.
Absolutely. And Hoot's talking, what Hoot's talking about, what he's been negotiating with Exxon Mobil since January sounds like what I work for the United States government, and what the previous administration was trying to do to unions in the United States government and work for the U.S. government. I mean, as federal employees, we can't negotiate wages and benefits. It's all working conditions. What Hoot is telling us is the issues that he's facing at Exxon Mobil. We need, the company says we need greater flexibility. That we need to remain competitive. These are buzzwords that corporate America has been throwing around and misusing for decades. This is Reaganism rerun and rerun and rerun. 40 years later, they're using failed business school strategies from the 70s and 80s and using those terms against 600 working families here in Southeast Texas. I'm the first member of my family that doesn't work at one of the refineries or chemical plants. All of the refineries in Jefferson County are I live within 10 miles of them. If Hoot has an A operator out of that, each of those units is keeping that thing running properly, and the company wants to get rid of the A operator and make sure that, the plant's just going to run by itself. No, it's not. And, I kind of take plant safety and health seriously because the OSHA guys and ladies in Southeast Texas and all other surrounding states are members of my local. So I kind of have a little bit of knowledge and care for this sort of thing.
Well, I appreciate that. And that's, for folks who are watching, that's the role of the AFL-CIO. That's the role of the state AFL-CIO. That's the role of the Labor Council, is to build solidarity. That's our job description. But I just can't go back to the fact that I'm still looking at this article and it still says 2021 and it's still the first quarter and they made $2.7 billion. What do the members think when they see stuff like that?
Total confusion, Rick. I mean, they don't understand it. We spent hours and hours keeping that plant viable. Let me share this with you. In February, the CEO presented this site with a presidential award for their outstanding performance throughout the entire Exxon system. And it, trying to explain to our membership what's going on has just got us dumbfounded. It's the craziest thing I've ever been involved with.
Wow. Yeah, I would imagine, when you see those things together, it just doesn't make sense. Leonard, what do you think of that?
No, it's sad that we're at this point right now, after everything that's gone on and after all the work that everybody has done at 13243, keeping the plant moving, keeping the community moving. To be at this point after all the good faith efforts coming on Hoot and everybody at USW, trying to get this resolved and trying to come to an agreement, and to be locked out of your job and to not be able to go to work and provide is shameful. And it's something you talk about. You talk about the confusion with the workers, right? Those are the guys and gals that are there every day. But what about in the community? What is the community thinking about this? How are they, getting involved, or how can they get involved? I mean, is it contacting Jeff at the Labor Council, or is it calling you guys at the office there at the local, or what can be done in that way? Do you have any other activities or actions planned here in the near future?
Leonard, we're working on all that. Of course, those things takes time. Mm-hmm. The company has created unfair labor practices. So, of course, I've been tied up with legal most of the day, and we have committees that are being established to start working on those other areas. I mean, we are working with a group of folks that is so unbelievable that they can't even live up to their own documents that they provide us. And so one of the most recent things that they did was that
Well, if we can, I mean, Rick, while we're getting Hoot to come back.
Okay, I think he's back.
yes, and I'm still here.
All right.
But they gave us a document Friday that said that they were going to start, actually April the 23rd, said that they were going to lock us out at 10 a.m. on May the 1st. We're working diligently to try to put a proposal together to get closer to management's position. And we get a phone call from the plant at 10:15 that they're escorting our people out. One of our vice presidents had 5 company officials. He was treated like a criminal and escorted to the gate with 5 company officials. Wow. So I pulled the group aside and I said, hey guys, look, we're not going to be able to get back to the company tonight. We have things that we have to work on to prepare for tomorrow at 10 o'clock because it already started at 10:15. Totally unheard of. And so at 10:15 in the morning, or 10 a.m. in the morning, they started walking our people out to the gate. That was totally concluded by 1:57 p.m. Saturday afternoon. We provided our folks training. We got all of our ULP protesters in training. We shared the do's and don'ts with them. In about 2:30, we established our peaceful protest and have been doing that ever since.
Well, it's people don't understand how much work goes into coordinating and supporting folks when they're not being able to work and to keep the pressure on. Hoot, I just want you to know this. Jeff, I just want you to know this, that whatever y'all need, I see from the comments, and I know the way our movement is, whatever you need, it's there. All you have to do is reach out and ask, and we will mobilize and organize to get you what you need. If you need people on picket, you let us know. If y'all need supplies, you let us know. Because just like we talked about last week, y'all, when folks are in a situation like this, yes, it affects their life deeply and personally, and we get that. But we also understand that every working person in this state is going to be affected by how this resolves. Are people going to be able to stand up and know that their jobs are protected from a corporation who is so greedy that making $3 billion in 3 months isn't enough? Are we going to be treated with dignity and respect? And so we're there with you. The USW is us, and we are the USW. That doesn't mean I'm not going to bring up some difficult issues. Right? Can I ask you some tough questions?
Maybe.
Okay.
It depends on if you get that voting bill over there.
Well, we're working on
the street fixed.
We're working on that, but that's related to my question, which is this. It's hard, but you've been up here. It's hard dealing with this legislative session, right? It's not easy.
Sir.
It's not like what you're facing, but it's not easy. And we go over there all the time. And in past years, we've known that no matter how bad it got, that there was going to come a day in Austin when Hoot Landry was going to be up here with the big old pot of gumbo that he made for the folks who are waging this fight. Now, is this situation going to interfere with our gumbo? I think that's what people are wanting to know.
I think right now it might, but I believe I can sneak away to make that happen.
Well, we'll see. Don't make any commitments, Hoot, but just know that we miss you and we appreciate you. And Jeff, thank you for being an example of what a labor council really does, because I know that Hoot knows that you and the entire community down there are going to be mobilizing to help. But we need to get the word out, because I told you, Exxon Mobil is up here spreading words and lies about y'all and what's going on. So make sure you get the word out to all the folks about what's really happening. Okay.
Well, Rick, I'd like to say this. I'm glad you told me that. I will try to get something to you that y'all could possibly handbill so that we can stop that bullshit, because it is that.
That's right.
And that is what Exxon wants people to believe.
Exactly.
It is not that.
Okay. Well, yeah, you get it to me and we'll take it out there. Yeah, Jeff?
Yeah, if I can add, Hoot and 13243 have been very careful not to negotiate in the local news media. They have been very resistant to the idea of even saying more than what needs to be said, as far as this is a lockout by the company, it's not a strike by the union, just basic stuff like that. The plant manager, in all of her arrogance, did a media blitz, if you will, on Friday and Saturday on the local news. And we're having to do this to maintain competitiveness and flexibility and all the other failed economic theories and workplace practices of the last 40 years, in whatever term I want to use. And she has just been, and I've been an investigator over 30 years. I'm a pretty good judge of character, I think. And I looked at her and the way she was speaking, and all I could see was, that's an arrogant woman. And I'm not, and if it was a man there, I'd say that's an arrogant man. This is a company that Hoot has said many times here, they are arrogant. And not only are they arrogant, they are acting arrogant, and they're just having the air of arrogance. Like the last 4 years is still going on at the national and state political level. And you know what? Nationally, the NLRB is a different bunch of people now. And I think Exxon Mobil is going to be greatly surprised when they might get some board charges that stand up and have to go to an ALJ, an administrative law judge.
Well, I know they're not going to break the folks that are down there on the line, and that's where it all starts. So, Hoot, thank you so much. I know you got your hands full down there. I'm going to give you a rain check on the gumbo. But just know that we're fighting with you. I see in the comments, people are fighting with you. Everybody's with you. I hope you'll convey that to your members, that there's people all over this state and frankly, all over this country that see what's going on and want to be of support. So once you figure out how we can best help, you get the word to us, get the word to Jeff, and we'll get that to you. Okay.
Thank you, Rick.
Okay. One last note. I just want to say, I see that Gene Lance is on here, and Gene had me on his radio show on Saturday for International Workers Day. And then he went out and they had a big event that Leonard was at in Dallas with about, commemorating the day. And then Gene, I understand, Gene went and tried to act like he was like the Pinkertons were after him and had an accent and hurt his head. Gene, I hope you're doing okay. We're certainly thinking about you. Thanks for fighting out in Dallas, and hope you're feeling better and all that's behind you. So with that, Leonard, anything you got?
No, just for all the folks out there, USW out there in Beaumont, we're with you and support you. So let us know, and we will be there to help as soon as you give us some direction. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Leonard, and thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Hoot. Hey, Hoot, stay strong. We'll talk to you, okay? And the rest of y'all, we'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us.
One more day.
Back to the Capitol.
USW will stand one more day.
There you go. One day longer. One day stronger.
One day longer.
Got it. All right, y'all. Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.